This is my Let's Play Red Dead Redemption series. You might notice that there is no audio on this, except for me narrating it, because this program that I used for it has no speaker thing for it, so I'm just doing voiceovers on this. And I highly recommend Red Dead Redemption. Really good game. I know it's kind of late now because it came out in like 2008 or 2009. And it's about a cowboy named John Marston and his path to redemption from what his former life was as a gangster, I guess you could say. Not really like the modern kind, just like he was in a gang. That's just the simplest way I can explain it. And this part, he's just going to the saloon and meeting this one guy who's going to bring him to a place called Fort Mercer. And Fort Mercer is the place where it's like the main place for your enemy, who you grew up with in the gang. And you are going with Jake by horseback to Fort Mercer. And I guess I'll just be quiet until you get there. Actually, you know what? No. That would take a little bit too long. So I'm going to pause it and actually never mind, it doesn't really take that long. Because they kind of explain a lot here. They explain like how like what's going on kinda with Jake and John and everything. And he then a little bit later on into this, Jake says that you can find women in Armadillo that aren't the worst but aren't the best. Then you'll notice that if you play this quote comes up a lot. John Marston says, "I'm a married man." Then Jake says, "Aren't we all?" You'll notice that come up like 3 or 4 times in the game, but yeah, it will come up like 1 or 2 times in America, then another time later on when you're in Mexico. And if you didn't know you went into Mexico, then that's pretty sad, considering that if you ever looked inside the case and took out like the instruction book or the map or whatever you have with it, it shows it. And right here is where he makes the remark about married women and men, I guess. And then they get to Fort Mercer a little bit farther up, and that's when something unexpected happens to John. And I might be making other stuff with this video, like I might do some voiceovers to make it funny, but I'm not sure. So yeah, hopefully I can get a capture card and then make it so the video doesn't look like some kind of thing where it's all in, like, fast forward. So yes, I will have 2 videos up by today from me, then a couple of others up by the other part of this account named Tony, and this part is me, Nick. So yeah, this is just him riding out still, and then they're at Fort Mercer. That's Fort Mercer right there. It's ruled by gang member. They ran out the place, like they took over it when it was abandoned, and that's what they're talking about now. And I guess I'll put up like 2 videos any day I can get the chance to. So yeah, here he is approaching Fort Mercer, and I did some kind of random stuff here. So yeah, he's walking up to it, and I had to take out that for some reason, to point at where the guys come out at, and then for some reason I had to take out my knife and do a few slashes. Then gets here. Then here, John Marston's calling for his friend Bill Williamson, who is your enemy. He's looking around right now, and this is where Bill Williamson calls back saying, "Go away, I don't need you here, Bill." Like, Bill's saying that he doesn't need John there, and then Bill comes out in like a couple of seconds with a gun. See? Yep, and he's pointing it at John, and he's just saying like, "This doesn't have to happen, Bill." And he's saying like, "I quote unquote implore you to not do this," or something like that. And he's just like, "Yeah, well, I implores you to go back to whoever sent you and to tell them to send someone a little bit more impressive." And then that's the point where John's just like, he goes into a little bit of a rage mode, and he goes, "Blah!" And then all of a sudden, whoosh, he was about to like pull out his pistol, and that's gonna happen in like 3, 2, 1, 0.5, 0.25, 0.1200, 0.600, and 0.300, and now! Then he's like, boom! He's like, whoa! See, and then he's like, then you're like, "Oh no, the game's already over, I paid all that money for this?" No, not at all. Now, these random people come over and save his life by bringing him over to a ranch, and lucky for him, they just happened to be passing by. Then they carry him onto the wagon, and the girl is protecting them with the gun. And they live on a farm, by the way, which you probably find out like 2 seconds later. After this video, I only kept the stuff on this for like the cutscenes for this video, because it's like the first time and it's pretty important stuff. All the other ones are just like junk. So on the other video I'm going to be putting up next is going to be this, but continued, because I kind of ended it in the middle of it. Because like I did 18 minutes of footage, and I didn't know that until afterwards. So yeah, she's just talking to him about like why he was at Fort Mercer, and he was like, it was a business I had with an old friend of mine, something like that. Then he was like, "Where's my hat?" And she points over to there in the corner. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. I know it's from the game. It's just kind of random stuff from the game, so yeah. And if you haven't noticed, I'll be a little bit more laid back in these things, because this isn't like stuff like Ghost Anteater is. Even though I am Ghost Anteater, Ghost Anteater Gaming is totally different. It's strictly for gaming. And then it's going to end soon, so I'm gonna wrap this up. Ghost Anteater Gaming out. Have fun playing the game.